Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Catherine Morris, and today I would like to talk to you about finding your purpose. I wonder if you've thought about there's something bigger that God's calling you to. Maybe it's time for you to step into a new season and there's something that you've dreamed of doing. It might actually have been for years. Well, I know that when I started my journey of, self-discovery, self-improvement, personal growth, whatever you want to call it, I kind of went down a rabbit hole, and there was just so many books that I could read, so many courses I could take, whether they were free or paid courses, and it actually became a bit overwhelming. Well, things are much calmer now, and the Lord's been really good. And so I thought I'd share some of the things with you. I'm hoping this is going to be really helpful for you today. If it is, please give it a like and think about subscribing so that we can spread this to other people who may need a bit of encouragement and a bit of positivity. So, in my search for self-knowledge, self-improvement and growth, all sorts of things came up on my social media feed, and we all know that what we watch and what we view, what we like, what we listen to gets fed to us even more. And some of the things that came up on my feed made me think, where does this sit with my faith? Where does this sit in my journey with Jesus? So it ended up being a bit of a journey into the biggest self-help book there is, which of course is the Bible. So I thought that in this short series I'm going to be sharing with you, this is me sharing some of the wonderful golden nuggets that social media served up for me in a way to try and draw me into liking more posts and reading more information. And it's interesting that we feel like, maybe the algorithm knows us. Maybe we can be served stuff up that we need to hear, that we need to listen to, that's of value. And we might even feel a bit of FOMO and worry that if we don't read enough, we don't take in enough, we don't journal on enough, that somehow we're going to be missing out. And actually, it can all become a bit too much. So without further ado, we're going to get into the first wonderful message, positive message that I was served a few weeks ago now. But it's quite apt because it's all about timing. And this channel has been in my thoughts, in my prayers, and on my mind for a very, very, very long time, like years. So when this came up in my Facebook feed and my social media feed, it made me think, oh my gosh, yes. The thing that was served to me said, and I wish I'd kept it now, but it was something like, there is no time but now. There is no time but now. And when I read that, it really spoke to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's now, let's do it, let's get on, let's crack on. And then I thought, wait, hold a minute. I wonder what the Bible says about this. I wonder if this actually sits right with what I believe, who I am as a person. Is this something that I actually want to take on as a belief system? And so I went to the best place possible. I went to the Bible. And of course, there is a lot to be said about timing. And one of the first things I noticed is that, people like Eckhart Tolle, they can talk about the power of now. And it's really, really important that we do live in the present, because we do only have now. So in that sense, that statement is absolutely true for us in our faith. But it's also a bit more nuanced, a bit more complex, shall we say. In Genesis, there was the story of Lot, and as they was escaping Sodom, she was told not to turn around, but she did turn around and look back at the city, and she was turned into a pillar of salt. And whilst that might be a lesson for obedience or a lesson against disobedience, there's actually a message in there about taking note of where you are now and not actually looking back, because we are called to move forward. We are called to always be striving for what's next, and we are even promised that what comes next will be even better. And I know sometimes that doesn't feel like that, and we go through really challenging times, really difficult times, and we will all continue to do that. But ultimately, the idea is that we do move forward, we grow, we change, and we become the best version of ourselves. But what if you're not living the best version? What if you don't feel like that's your best life? What if you feel like there is something better next? Well, looking back's not going to help you. And although we will go into this in more detail, it's really important that we do reflect on our past. Ultimately, it isn't actually going to serve us. So what about looking at the now? And I'm just looking down at my notes because I wanted to double check that I'd got this right. And it's actually Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. There is a time for everything. I mean, it talks a lot about the season, and it's really important that there are times where it's a go, it's a yes, it's a let's do it now. There are times when it's a wait, not yet. And there's a time when it's a no. So although we're called to live in the now, when we're making plans, when we're thinking of our dreams, it's really important that actually we think carefully about when is the right time. So in my past life, I was a career advisor for secondary school children, teenagers, and we would encourage visitors to inspire the young people. I had people who used to be lawyers and they quit their job, retrained and became teachers. There were people who came in, one guy was actually a welder, a trained welder, and he really wasn't fulfilled in his work. He completely quit, went back, retrained, and was living his best life as a hairdresser. So what if that's you? What if you're now thinking, well, actually, I think that it might be time for a big career change. And of course, there's lots of different things that we might change within our life, but we'll just use that as an example. Would it be the right time? Is it actually now? And some things we do have to wait and see. So the other quote that I wanted to mention is in chapter 60 of Isaiah, it's verse 22, and it actually says, when the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen. The Lord will make it happen. So when I was looking at my journey of self-development, self-improvement, and thinking of how I could live my best life, I wondered, was there even a such thing as self-help? And we'll go into this in other videos, but the answer is yes and no, because we are supposed to rely on Jesus, and the Lord does make it happen, but we're also supposed to take responsibility and take action when we're called to. So in answer to the question, there is only now, yes, and it serves us to live our life now, because we do only have now. But when it comes to making big changes in our life, sometimes there is a wait. And actually, Psalm 27 sums that up, verse 14, wait for the Lord. So as we go on in this series, I will delve deeper more into when is a good time to make changes, how do we go about making those changes, and how do we actually live our best life, the life that we feel called to, the life that we want, the life that is full of the abundance that we are promised. So I'm hoping that that's been helpful for you. If it was, please like and subscribe. That way, if you click the bell, you will be told when the next video is uploaded. So we'll leave it there for today. I love you and I wish you all well. See you again soon.